Just about 6 minutes on to the hour for 11 o'clock in Solution, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it's time for Man vs. Woman, and of course, we're joining GVD TV, channel 115. Bring the action live right here, Hits FM. Keep it locked, back after these messages.
Roll that bumper, roll that bumper, girl, you make it down.
The Maximum Music Authority hits.
Are you looking to grow your business? Hits 92.1 and 91.1 is in a class of its own when it comes to superior advertising. We target everyone between 18 and 80 years of age. You and your business are certain to get a significant amount of exposure, which will equate to an extreme increase in sales. Our packages, rates, and sponsorship opportunities are very affordable, so we guarantee that your advertisements will be heard by its intended target market. We even customize packages just for you. Our premier sales staff has several years experience in radio advertising, so you can rest assured and be confident in the capabilities of our team. We pledge first-class service with an even better result. Experience, satisfaction, and competence are guaranteed when you do business with us. Give us a call at 758-457-7488 or email us at caribbeanhitsfm@gmail.com. Make Hits FM your choice today.
Prior to the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the thank yous and pleases and daily manners.
What's up, Sanusha? This is your daughter of the soil, Kamaya Lizette, and I will be performing home at the Roots and Soul Festival Friday, 23rd of August on the ramp in Rodney Bay, 7 p.m. Live band, music, power, word. Come, give me your ears, give me your presence, give me your presence. It's gonna be a vibe. Be there.
The gusts blow with much duress and distress. But I speak.
Yeah. Good morning.
We're Canal.
And we'll be performing at St. Lucia Roots and Soul.
Roots and Soul on Friday, 23rd August. Yes, so come down.
That's right.
Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor. Morning, morning, neighbor. Morning. Good morning, neighbor. Morning. Good morning, neighbor. Morning. Good morning, neighbor.
Roots and Soul.
We go down in your area.
We coming.
C'est mon nom, c'est Dr. Sigwe et puis
Lady Diane Nostra.
Nous avons invité au
Kite Pep La Pale. Lundi pour vendredi.
7h
pour 8h.
Nous avons opéré sur deux fréquences, 92.1 dans notre pays et 91.1 en sud pays. Bon, Diane, qui ça nous a quitté Pep La Pale?
Nous avons quitté Pep La Pale.
Asso
Hits FM et GVD TV.
Channel
115 115. Kite Pep La Pale.
Tune in to Hits FM every Wednesday from 6 to 10 p.m. and Saturdays from 6 to 11 p.m. It's the Big Country. Right here on Hits 92.1 and 91.1, the Maximum Music Authority, for the most interactive country show on radio. Hits 92.1 and 91.1, the Maximum Music Authority, the Big Country, right here at Hits.
To the days prior to the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the thank yous and pleases and daily manners.
What's up, Sanusha? This is your daughter of the soil, Kamaya Lizette, and I will be performing home at the Roots and Soul Festival Friday, 23rd of August on the ramp in Rodney Bay, 7 p.m. Live band, music, power, word. Come, give me your ears, give me your presence, give me your presence. It's gonna be a vibe. Be there.
Yes. At times the gusts blow with much duress and distress. But I speak.
Good morning.
We're Canal.
And we'll be performing at St. Lucia Roots and Soul.
Roots and Soul on Friday, 23rd August. Yes, so come down.
That's right.
Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor, morning. Good morning, neighbor.
Morning.
Morning, neighbor.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning, neighbor. Morning. Good morning, neighbor.
Roots
morning.
and soul.
We got all in your area. We coming.
The Maximum Music Authority hits.
The time is now 11 o'clock in St. Lucia and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. And of course, I want to say good morning to the folks tuned in to Hits FM 92.1, 91.1, GVD TV channel 115. It's that time again, yeah. It's man versus woman.
Woman versus man.
I'm not hearing you all this morning. Man versus woman.
Woman versus man.
I'm giving you guys an equal chance this morning. You better make sure you take good use of it, make good use of it. And don't forget our camera is behind you, so you have to turn to the camera. Let the people see your beautiful face. Now, I got a double team this morning. And these guys, like, they came for me. They came dressed in the same colors, everything. Man versus woman.
Woman versus man.
All right, so, you know, we all know what it is. Y'all can talk whatever you want. You guys are replacing Flawless this morning. She's a little under the weather, so speedy recovery to Flawless this morning. Flawless, you know we love you. All right, but you should have been here. You know when you're sick, you're not supposed to stay home.
Why?
Come to work. Get up and feel good. Get up and move around.
That's what I do.
That's what you do.
Yes.
What about you, Stephanie?
I do the same.
You sure?
Yeah.
So why are you calling sick the last time then?
I never call it Asylum. Don't be lying on me, Asylum.
On television, you got to turn a little bit this way. I know we're using just one mic, so you guys are kind of, you know, but if you open your voice loud enough, we can hear you. Right? Let's try that. Let me hear you say good morning. Let me hear you say good morning to the people that are watching TV, channel 115.
Good morning, GVD.
What about you, Leah?
Good morning, Hits FM family and GVD family.
All right, can we sing it? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, GVD. Channel 15. 115. Yeah. Man versus woman. That's right. You see, I always tell Flawless that a man can get woman to do anything, you know. Look how I make you guys go on national TV. Both of you don't have no singing voice, and I make you try to sing.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to try that?
Okay, so
And of course, folks, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Man versus Woman right here on Hits FM and GVD TV channel 115. Our aim here is to get to know each other, get to understand each other. Men, we have a lot of questions about women that we would like answered. Likewise, women have questions about men that they would like answered. From time to time, we, you know, take a scenario from one of our listeners. They always send us stuff. They want us to help them to figure out where they're going in life or what's happening in their lives. And we usually give preference to that because we believe that we want all our listeners to be sane and we want to give them all the advice that we can. Me, on the other hand, I'm the harsh reality kind of guy. You ain't gonna get nothing smooth coming from me.
Okay.
Because I believe in tough love. All right.
Okay.
And this morning's scenario is one that I really, really feel that we should do. And I mean, I hope there's a lot of fathers listening, especially fathers that are protective of their daughters.
Overprotective.
I wouldn't say overprotective.
Yes.
No, we are protective of our daughters. So don't start the war this morning.
Okay,
So,
I'll answer that question after one of us read this.
After who's reading the scenario this morning?
Well, I can help.
You can help? All right. So go right ahead. The floor is open. Let us hear what one of our listeners sent us this morning. All right? You all good? You ready to go? All right.
Good morning. And girls, good morning. My father hates every man I ever introduced to him. Him too. I'm begging to think my father wants me to die single. I am 29 for crying out loud, and the man has never ever, not even once, liked my boyfriends. All because of him, I had to dump about 3 potential husbands. Now I have this guy who loves me and asks me to marry him. He is a police officer, and when I introduced him to our family last week, my father had the guts to tell me never marry a police officer or bus driver or government minister. The man
Keep going.
The man was so ashamed he just bowed his head after my father treated him like that in front of the whole family. I asked my father, how am I supposed to have a life and start a family when he rejects every man who is interested in me? He said no one will ever be good enough for his daughter. Wow. My father thinks I'm still his little girl, and I can't understand that at all. I think my father's fear is being alone, because my mom passed a few years ago, and I am their only child. But I try to explain that being married won't mean I will neglect him. Guys, I can't manage that mess, so I am moving out. Too bad for my father.
All right. You guys have fathers similar to this? Your father?
No.
So share the mic with us, Stephanie, because we can hear it. Your dads are not like that.
No.
Now let me tell you. All right. Coming from a father, have you guys seen my DP this morning? Or my status this morning?
Nah.
You haven't seen it, right? You haven't take a peek at my status. So take a peek at my status. Everybody who's listening right now who have me, everyone who's listening who have me on WhatsApp, take a look at my status. We, as fathers, good fathers, especially fathers of daughters, we do not feel anybody is ever good enough. I was at a wedding not last weekend, the weekend before, and the father of the bride, he got up and he gave his speech, and he talked about how, grateful he was that his son-in-law was, somebody who really respectful and love his daughter. But you can see it on his face. It's like, he's saying it with his mouth, but on his face he's thinking, but my little girl gone, my little girl go. Fathers, the good fathers out there, especially the ones that are close to their daughters, will never, ever, ever come to the point where they can say that a man is good enough for their daughter. That's just the bottom line.
Yes,
I am one of those fathers.
There are.
Right? I am one of those fathers. I have four little girls, and no matter how old they are, they will always be my little girls.
All right.
You understand that? So for you fellas out there who listening, all right, and feels that Asylum has some nice daughters there, boy. Let me try and make don't even think about it. All right. I mean, it's a double standard. Yes, I understand that. But to each his own. Me, I personally believe that anytime my daughters decide that they're going to get married or get serious with anyone, as a matter of fact, the fellas them that my daughters are dating don't come around me because they know I'm serious. Yeah, they know I'm an old school kind of guy that, no.
Then you're that kind of person.
What's that?
You're that kind of father.
Yeah, I am.
Well, there.
And, I bring her into the world. I watch her grow from, nothing to something. And now all of a sudden you feel you could just show up out of nowhere. And want to,
there are fathers like that.
I defending the fellas them this morning.
No.
I want to.
I give you a wrong. Well,
for what?
I don't give you a wrong.
For what?
It's.
I hope your father. I hope your father listening.
Yes, he can listen.
Skelly,
that's
I hope you're there.
Too, but my father is not like that.
He's not, but he needs to
be. No, I'm not saying talk for my father. My father is one of the best dads.
By doing what? Just allowing you to.
You're supposed to allow the children to be themselves.
Yes, that's fine.
Don't hold the children.
When you're
hold
40
kids
and move
like
out.
that, when you hold kids like that, you allow them to do things they don't want to do.
If you're 26 years old and you're in my house, I'm in control.
Really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to bring to date. And a policeman too? We all know the reputation these guys having.
Me, and
I'm not knocking all policemen. There are some great police officers out there. There are some great bus drivers out there. And there are some great government ministers out there. But some of them, boy, I can name a few, eh?
Me as the policeman, I would arrest you.
You see you and Ball and us? Yeah, perfect example.
I would arrest you.
Perfect example. Listen, our daughters would forever be our daughters, our little girls.
Right. I go with that. But at the same time, you're supposed to allow the girls, especially girls.
Do what you want to do behind my back. If you're 26 and
no,
you can do
I
don't to know. I don't know you. I'm not ready for that. Listen to me.
You know what's going on
I respect the fact that he was willing to come home, but just remember, he come at my home.
Right, I understand. Okay.
So hold yourself.
So if you want your daughter to let you know who she's dating or who she's with, how would you know?
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know why?
4582488 is our number. 721-3303 via
Why
WhatsApp. You
would
can send us. I wonder what Tamara. Tamara, you have 2 daughters, I think. I mean, let me hear what you have to say there this morning.
Why don't you want to know?
As much as I want to know,
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know. You know, because we're supposed to be as just imagine as a little girl growing up, your father is supposed to be like that. Your knight. It's supposed to be your everything, your hero. And then all of a sudden, Jack comes from nowhere, and he's the most important man in your life. No, you're not taking that.
So what are you saying? You have 2 older daughters, right?
Yeah.
You say none of them have boyfriends.
They have boyfriends, but they have to hide them from me because if I kidnapping them and doing all kinds of things. I'm making them go missing. I just telling you like it is. I'm serious.
So what if that boyfriend cares about your daughters?
That's
so
fine.
much?
You can care about somebody else's daughter.
But they have some fathers, like it happens here.
Huh?
It happens here.
Hey.
Fathers want their daughter for themselves.
That's
there
not
are fathers
true.
that even
That's
have
not a father.
relationships
That's not a father though.
When you hold in the
That is
dude,
not.
so who you wanted to
That
fall
is
in love
not.
with?
That is not a father.
Who do you
That
want
is
to
not
fall
a
in love
father.
with?
That is not a father. A father would do everything to protect his child, to make sure
Right.
that.
But not in that
for
way,
the guy, for people who consider themselves fathers that are having relations with, they're not fathers. They're monsters. They're animals.
Right, true.
You understand? I'm talking about. Let me just tell you my story. All right. When my first daughter was born, you understand me? In Canada, you are allowed. You get basically a room. You have your own bed. You have everything there. Couch, TV, everything. They do it up nice for you as a father, especially the first time fathers. When you walk in there, like, wow, this is a hotel. And my oldest daughter, immediately after she was born, right? They did her vitals, make sure she was okay, and they wrapped her in a little blanket and brought her to me because the mother had some complications. So while they're tending to the mom, they give me the baby, right? And I fell asleep on the couch with her. We woke up 5 hours later. To this day, if my daughter ever put her head on my chest or my shoulder, she'll fall asleep. Now that's the kind of bond I'm talking about. No man is gonna come and take that from me. None. I defend in that. When my daughter started growing, I was the one who I learned to braid so that I can do a little half Douglas hair, if you want to call it that. That's why she loved her hair so much, because my mom and I used to play in her hair so much. My daughter is crazy about her hair. If you guys followed you follow her on Instagram and stuff, she's crazy about her hair. When she became a young lady, she actually came to her father first, told me about it. I'm the one who broke the news to her mother. So that's the kind of relationship I have with my daughters. So, for you, Mr. Police Officer, who feel you could just come out of nowhere, invest in no time, and feel like you could come and you're gonna have problems. I'm not saying that I'm gonna
For you.
I'm not gonna kidnap you and make you go missing them days. The days are that gone, but because they're old enough. But it's not gonna come easy for you. I will be on you all the time to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do, even if I accept the fact that I can't do anything about it. She decided, but that level of wanting to make sure you're always taking care of my daughter would always be there. I'm always going to be in your face. Every step you make, I'm going to be looking over your shoulder to make sure you're stepping right. And people can say, oh, so that's you're saying that, but you're not like, you know what? Forget about me. It's not my fault that your father didn't take care of you or look after you. But for me, my daughters, I would protect them like a soldier. I would be 24 hours on guard.
Well,
might not be right. It might sound a little crazy.
That my father is like that.
Think about it.
My father is protective, but not overprotective.
What is overprotective?
Like
what
you
is
want to be around your daughter every.
No. You get your freedom, and I'm saying. Listen.
Know her every move. Like if your daughter say, "Daddy, I'm going to the
obsession.
movies."
That's a
You outside in the
if you say, "Daddy, I'm going to the movies," my friend, boyfriend, or my friend. Parents would drop us.
Depends on your age. Depends on your age. Depends on your
drop
age.
me and come back and
yes,
pick me up.
yes,
I
would do it.
I
would do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Making sure you get there and back safe. Part of my duty.
Well, that's
I will protect you like a soldier.
I agree with you on that, but at the same time, give me some space. Just give
I'm
me
26 years. You're still under my roof. Hell, I would be taking.
No, give me at least an inch.
And I mean, the thing is too. I mean, I can relate to this guy, right? Because I mean, police officers ain't really got no good reputation out there when it comes to women.
I hate police officers.
Don't
Sorry.
don't say that.
The
You
good
should.
ones,
Hate is not a nice word to use.
No, like for real.
Right.
That's just me.
That's not a nice word to use. So, especially on television.
Well, okay, I don't hate. I dislike police officers.
What I am saying, what I'm saying is that they don't have good reputations, and you know what I mean. There's some good ones too, and chances are, the guy here in question might be a good one. But Peter gonna pay for Paul, and Paul shall surely pay for all. That's how I see it.
Right.
And to my good police officer friends who watching, say assalamu to you. Good morning to you guys. Javid, good morning to you. And the guys up at GBD. When we invest the love, the money, the time into raising our daughters, yes, we want to make sure that they end up having a great life. And a part of that would be at one time or the other, we would have to say, you know, this is it, my little daughter is no longer little anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not going to come easy. Real fathers do not let go of their daughters so easy.
Well, that's true. You can be there for your daughter whenever she needs you, but don't hold her like that. Don't overdo it.
And especially the fact now that his wife passed away, he's probably afraid to be alone. So, you know, I don't blame the poor guy.
Well, just close your eyes and allow your daughter and your boyfriend to come
2488 or 721-3303. Nobody else will be.
Maybe he doesn't want to, or doesn't have to.
He's at the point now. Let's hear what one of the fellas have to say. Good morning, Hits FM Live.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, sir.
I was just listening to your program, and the last thing you said about he may be afraid of being alone,
right.
I don't believe in that. I think once he gives his daughter the freedom she needs, because he lived his life,
right,
and she has to live hers. Because what some parents don't understand is that as much as you try to protect, once you go to the point of overprotecting your child,
then you drive them away.
You can come to a point of losing your child.
Well, we would risk that.
Pardon?
We would risk that. We go risk. We will risk that happening.
You risk that happening?
Yeah, you know, my thing is that, and I'm talking about, you know, fathers that are not just daddies. I'm talking about fathers who were there, and it's hard to let go. It's almost like just working all your life to protect and to nurture that child, and then all of a sudden somebody comes out of nowhere and without hardly any regards to you, even if the dude or the guy have respect for you, in your mind you're thinking, okay, well, you just come and take my world away from me.
Yeah, but your world is still there once you just allow it to get married.
Yeah.
Your world is still there. You don't lose it. You will not lose it.
Easier said than done, huh?
Well, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I guess in a way I understand where the father coming from. I guess he has his perspective as to who she should marry. It works for some people. It doesn't work for some people. It might not work for her.
Right.
Unless if maybe, I don't know if he's looking for somebody like himself or much better than himself.
But that's the thing now. And that's the thing about our children. We always want our children to have better than we do. Become better individuals than we are. Climb a little higher on the ladder of life than we did.
Right.
I understand that. But at the same time, also, if you raise your child properly, you must have be at some point whereby you come to a point of seeing how your child can handle a situation and trust your child to do the best, because as far as you know, you train that child to the best of your ability.
Right.
So the child's supposed to have proper upbringing as to how to go about living.
And I definitely agree with you. It's just the attachment that we don't want to lose. I don't know.
You won't lose the attachment. If you love your child and you can trust your child in the decisions they will make, and you know your child will not make a bad decision as to choosing the right partner, you're going to lose nothing. You'll have a much better world after that.
Point taken, caller. Thank you very much. Point taken.
All right, okay.
All right, thank you. I mean, the thing is, like I said, I would agree with almost everything that he says, but it's just that letting go we can handle.
No,
so
there's no ifs, buts, or maybes, because just let the child be. themselves. You can still have that bond
it's
even if
almost-
she's not there.
it's almost like
what's
the-
wrong with calling? What's wrong with visiting? What's wrong with
That's right.
going for
Let me
lunch?
tell you, it's
What's
almost
wrong with having
it's
right?
almost like some mothers. You know, very often you hear the mother-in-law from hell. You hear of that too. You see, my mother is one of those. If I am in a relationship with you and my mother have access to your home, she's checking your fridge, she's checking everything, make sure that you're taking care of me, making sure that everything is right. My mother is the same way.
Okay.
So there's a lot of mothers out there who don't want to let go of their sons either, you know.
Exactly.
You know, it goes both ways.
I'm sure of
There-
that.
there's some mothers out there who would go all out to make sure that when you decide that you're going to marry her son, that you are going to take care of her the way she would.
Yeah, but you
So
know
it
what's
goes both
wrong
ways.
in doing that than
But
rejecting?
see, it's a different approach. It's a different approach.
all
Maybe the father knows best. We have a few messages. Let me try to get to them. This one says, "Good morning, Hits FM family. Happy to be able to catch a portion of your show this morning. Another great topic. I myself am the father of 2 daughters. One is 13 and one is 2. I can relate with Asylum so well, and I admire his stance as a father. My girls are too young for this to have risen as of yet. My girls are too young, so this is not an issue for him yet. However, when that time comes, watch out, fellas. Are they watching you closely? Yes, I believe that. I believe we have a short time to build a relationship with our daughters, to build a strong life-lasting bond. It is my hope and prayer that when the time comes for me to escort my daughters down the aisle and hand her over to her husband, that the bond we share will remain strong, and she will continue to look to me for guidance and counseling. And yes, Asylum, even to be her superhero will be a tough day to tell you, but it will be much tougher for any man who mistreats my girl. You bet keep up the great work. I love your show. Your co-hosts are brilliant and looking lovely with their matching outfits. Thank you very much this morning. And call this number. It seems like a foreign number. It's area code 74724. But thank you very much for that comment. We have a few more comments here.
Right, I brought it out.
Go ahead.
Right and proper.
You know, it's not that we don't want our daughters to be happy.
Right.
You know, I just don't know if we understand the time frame in which we are allowed to let go of our children. And I'm not just talking, again, I'm going back to this, and you'll hear me repeat this throughout the show. And there's a lot of daddies out there, there's not a lot of fathers.
Right.
And real fathers want to be the hero. We work all our lives to be the hero in our children's life. And we do not want anyone to take that shine away from us.
I think daddies do that.
You know, even when we hand our children over in marriage, we do it with hesitation. We do it hoping, knowing that, you know, I'm just handing over that responsibility of being that number one man in that person's life to someone else, someone who I might not even know very well.
Right.
You understand me? Someone who I'm not even sure is able to carry the torch.
All right.
So we do it with hesitation, and that's all I'm saying. You know, and maybe that's what's going through this father's life, mine, and more so, he lost his wife. He's probably at home alone, and he's afraid.
And it sounds like she's his only daughter.
Yeah, but that's what she said. She said she's the only child. She's the only child. And again, his only child.
And a girl.
That's you know.
Daughter.
There's an old saying. What, do you want me to give you my firstborn? That's exactly what is being done here. What's happening here? It's a tough thing for a lot of men, like, who really, really, truly care and love their children.
Yeah, daddies do
when daddy hand you over and say, you know, I give this woman to be your wife, it's a heart-wrenching situation for a lot of fathers.
True.
And one day they have to do it. One day.
One day, the trumpet shall be. As I see, he didn't make her for himself. He too stuck up on her. Needs to find himself a woman and allow this daughter to have her own life.
Amen.
She's not a kid anymore. We understand all of that. Huh? He has to understand she's a big woman now and can make her own decisions. She would always be his daughter, but she needs a life of her own unless he wants his daughter. That's all I can say. Okay. If he says no man is good enough for his daughter, what does that mean? Does that mean does he want her for himself? That's why he doesn't want to let her go. So no man could ever have her. So as he says she will move out, I want to know if he will allow her to. He needs to find himself a lady and continue his life and allow his daughter to look for her life. Again, I agree with all of you. I agree with that. We always say easier said than done, right? This message says the father wants the daughter for himself. I don't believe that. Honestly, I don't believe that, because this is not a situation where she's complaining that he's acting funny sexually around her, and so I don't believe it's that. You know what I mean? I think we are being a little too harsh. The father wants the daughter for himself, so all men that daughter have, he running behind them. So me, the daughter, I would leave his home and go and make a life and a future. All right, thank you very much for that comment.
But she sounds like she's fed up, yeah, Asylum?
Yes, she is. She's frustrated, and I get that.
The next move, I assume, would be leaving her father's house. What's the name of that?
She's gonna kill the man. He's gonna die.
I guess no, she won't.
He'll die of a broken heart.
Well,
I want a girl. You know, I mean, whilst I understand that, you know, she has to move on and have a life of her own.
Right.
And I'm not saying that she's not entitled to that, or that shouldn't be the due course. But what I'm saying is that he's scared, and we need to be a little more compassionate, because this is a man who has probably dedicated his entire life to making sure that daughter is good.
Yes, but at the end of the day, you have to let her go at some point.
Yes. Maybe it's just, you know, he's looking at certain things. Like for instance, the stigma, the stigma that's attached to police officers. He talks about the bus drivers, the stigma and the ministers. So in his mind, you know, we're talking people that can bring harm to his little girl. And he's just being proactive by protecting her like a soldier.
He's just being overprotective at the moment.
The guy he actually accepts for her is the one that will break her heart.
I don't know if you will, you know, ever really accept any guy. So, you know, I mean, it's a tough situation. I really want to tell him that it's time for him to let go, but how can I? Because I know I'm asking him or encouraging him to do something that is going to be my issue in the near future.
So when you wait for menstruation,
what's that?
Menopause. Sorry.
When who's going through menopause?
When his daughter going through menopause, he wanted to find a husband or something.
Maybe that. You never too. I mean,
She's
like
young,
I said,
age
doesn't. Let me tell you something. Parents don't really see age in their children. They don't.
Well, to be real honest,
you would always be the little child, our little kid, you know.
Some of them.
Yeah.
My grandaunt, she has a daughter like that. She has a daughter like that, and up to a day like today, I think Anselma is about same age with my mother. My mother is in her 50s, yes, and she's like a baby with my grandaunt.
Yeah, treat her like a baby. Some parents don't let go
because it's her.
And especially if you've been through a lot raising that child.
True. All right.
You know, I know of a young lady also who has had a really tough life. I mean, she had a lot of health issues. Her parents used to always be in the hospital with her, and they protect her like a soul. They're always on guard.
That's a different case.
And he would always tell you, say, boy, if you know how much I went through to get this child to that age, so you think I'm gonna allow some fella to just come out of nowhere?
That's a different case. I would understand that. But she's healthy.
That's fine. I'm not saying that
she's old enough. Yes, you will never agree with that.
Listen, like our
what the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, well, she can do that. We're not stopping her from doing it, but I'm just saying I'm gonna go back to the message I got earlier. I myself am a father of 2 daughters. One is 3 and one is 13. I can relate to Asylum so well, and I admire his stance as a father. You know, like I said, we as fathers, you know, I was there. I actually was there when all my majority of all my children were born. I actually was in the delivery room. I saw them come to life, and I held them, and you know, I cut the umbilical cord out. You know, I was allowed to do that. That bond, nobody can take from me, and I'm not gonna stand by and let anyone take that. Hits FM, you live.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. Good morning to you and you.
All right. Can you speak up a bit, caller? You're a little faint. Can you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
Is it clear now?
It's still a little faint. I don't know. Maybe it's your connection. You there? All right. Okay, go ahead. We'll try to make it work.
I just got it.
Uh huh.
Okay. How is it now?
Right. Better. Much better.
Okay. What I'm saying is that, yes, parents, especially fathers, have to be close to their children. Just like to be close to their fathers and so on. But I believe there's a certain point in life where the father don't have to give up completely. But there's a certain time or a certain age that the father have to drop back a little bit, because your daughter needs her privacy in spite of how close you all are.
Right.
There are men right now, their daughters are 16 and 17, 18, 20 something, and they're still going in and out of a room, killing mosquitoes on them and all them kind of things.
I get you.
Okay? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're listening. We're listening.
Yeah, and I'm saying I don't believe that is right.
All right.
Okay, the girl needs a privacy. Like my daughter have a room. I have nothing to go and do in my daughter's room, my brother.
Right, exactly.
My wife or my daughter's mother has the right to go in a room at any time she wants.
Right.
Okay? The daughters that will not let the mother touch them certain places. They mommy, behave yourself, hold on to your hand, and you know those kind of things.
Right.
Right? Although they are female. Don't tell me as a man you have a child growing from a year, in fact from time she born and up. She's 15, 16 and you don't want to give up. You want to be on the beach with her everywhere, hanging on her back, she on your back, and you know, I am not saying that
I like that call.
negativity in that, But at the same time, I believe there are times that the father should say, you see me, let me draw back a little bit, because when that child will be ready to go on her own, I don't want her to feel that she's missing me too much or I am missing her too much. Okay?
Yeah.
There are times that the father have to give up. You're 14 and you're 15, 16, 22-year-old. Fathers, give them a chance, give them a little privacy in their rooms. You all going in and out there too often.
Right.
Let the mother do the searching in the laundry basket and in a clothes bag and all that thing. You have nothing going on look for there.
I don't know if so much the privacy is the issue. I don't think privacy is the issue here. I mean, to me, you can have your room. You can. It's just a matter of letting go your little girl to somebody who you barely know. You know, especially for the fathers that grow their children close, that are close to their children, and you know, have done everything to make sure that they're okay. It's hard to let go to somebody you barely know. A lot of fathers, like I said earlier, a lot of fathers, even when they get to the point where the daughters are getting married and they're handing their hand over to that man, they're doing it with hesitation. In their mind, they're saying, "I don't really want to do this," you know.
Yes, but at one point the father has to. S-V-E, capital letter. You have to let go.
Dr. Secret.
And let your daughter hang on to, because hear that. The Bible said, therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife. Your daughter becoming the man's wife. So you have to let go.
It's
so that your daughter will be able to hold on to her husband too.
True. I get you. I'm not
to let go?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but let me ask you a question. You ever sold a vehicle?
Say that again?
Have you ever sold a vehicle?
Yes, I sold vehicle to people already, and when I see the state of the vehicle, I wanted to buy it back.
Exactly. When you see that vehicle passing on the road, in your mind, boy, look, my car going there. You never lose.
Let me tell you. I had a car. I am not saying that I like the car. I love the car.
Right.
Now I had to let it go because at that time I had a contract and I wanted something with
more
told
practical.
to buy a van.
Right, more practical, yeah.
And when I saw the car, I said, "My goodness, you mean to tell me that this a kid made had that car?"
Right.
You know.
And
if right now mate come to me and ask me to sell him a vehicle, I will not sell it to him because I know the condition is going to bring it into.
Right, and the thing is, if your situation was different and you could have taken the car back, you would have bought it back.
Right.
Yeah.
You have your daughter.
Uh-huh.
And she's friendly to a guy. Even before they get married or they make the decision to get married. Asylum, you can see, you may not see around the corner, but you will see a point as to where your daughter is heading to, whether it is good or bad. Or you can try and get a feedback from people who live in the guy's community.
So you're going to
show.
show.
The way that he treat his sisters, the way that he treat his mother, is the way that he's going to treat your daughter. Or even worse, or sometimes better. So you have to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open for you to know where your daughter's going to. But don't tell me, man, for heaven's sake, you don't want to let go at all. Your daughter getting married, and you still want to lie down on the bed by her.
No, I don't think it's lying down in the bed by her.
Your wife is there, your daughter is there, 18, 19 years. She's sleeping between the two of you and all them kind of things. You don't want to let go at her father? That's how Marco se bugla Marco. I'm telling you straight up.
I hear you.
Let go so that somebody else can hold on to your daughter.
Right.
Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. All right. You know, again, yeah. You know, if it's a situation where, you know, I really don't get this from this situation, as you know, I don't think she's citing the father as in wanting her, you know, like that. You know, he just wants to make sure that, you know, maybe he's insecure, maybe the fact that he lost his wife and he's probably in the house by himself. He's afraid that, you know, now it's going to be me alone. What if something happens to me? I'm older now. I'm not as young as I used to be. That's my little girl out there, and she should. A lot of fathers think that way.
Well, allow them to move in if you. So why do you have a problem?
Maybe that can be the case. Hits FM. Good morning. You're live.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Hey, I just want to give my 2 cents on this topic. I did not listen from the beginning.
Right.
But I've taken in a bit of your discourse and some of your contributors.
Right.
And from a purely Christian and biblical perspective, no parent is supposed to raise his or her daughter for him or herself.
Right.
Your role as a father, especially since the letter is centered around the father-daughter relationship, your role is to raise your daughter so well that she, on her own, with a bit of advice when solicited, can choose the partner that, first of all, will treat her just as the father has, or even better.
Right.
That she can make that decision independently and be comfortable and be certain that that man will be not only a very good husband, but a very good father as well.
Right.
So the father's role is to train that daughter, treat her in a manner that will inspire her to choose a man that will treat her, just as well as you, the father, has.
Right.
But we're not trusting nobody.
Sorry?
We're not trusting no one.
No, listen to me. That is your own insecurity as a father.
Yeah.
And that should not be passed on to the girl, because she will need to live a life of her own at some point.
It will come. It will come. Don't worry. It will come. But for now, no. We're not ready.
Asylum, I know that's your pet peeve. I know you well enough. Anyway, so listen, the father is supposed to really do the job that will inspire his daughter to make a decision that she will be happy with in the long run. That does not mean that she does not seek your counsel when it's necessary. So she will solicit your advice. Don't impose it. At 18 years old, she's ready to look to see what a prospective husband would be, not necessarily to get involved, but to start putting fillers out there. She may be concentrating on education first or career first, but if she is looking to be a mother and a wife, then she should have been trained within those 18 years well enough to make that decision on her own. So the idea that a father wants to hold on to his daughter, no. You should be comfortable enough with the training that you've imparted to allow her to do what she needs to do and to solicit your advice. The closeness can remain, the relationship will remain because it is a foundation.
I mean, that's all. That's some of the things that we're afraid of, you know. Because when you get married and move out, you have your own life now. You don't have the time that you.
I can barely hear you. Hold on.
Okay, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I mean, I think these are all some of the fears that we have as fathers. You know, when you get married, you move out, you have your own life, you're busy, you don't have time to check daddy anymore. You know, all these things. So
that happens, Asylum, when the relationship is not as solid as some parents think. Some fathers hold on too tight, and then the child can't wait to leave.
Right.
They can't wait to get out from under their grasp.
So you said that could be a bad thing. The ones that hold on could turn out to work against us.
She feels that you're not trusting her judgment, and that can happen when the father is not imparting that sort of self-esteem values that the child needs, the self-worth values. If you feel like you always need to, what it is, when she tries to make a decision that you second guess her or you undermine her, that means she feels that you don't trust her. So the relationship should get her to be able to trust you as a father and for her to trust her own self in terms of her judgment. So the training is not for her to constantly rely on you, the father, but for her to be able to make those decisions for herself, that she can trust herself enough that the decision she would make would not only gratify her but satisfy the father as well, inadvertently.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for.
From a standpoint, that is what a father does. Train your child. I mean, I'm not excluding the mother because the mother has a role as well. But since the letter centers around father-daughter, that is very important. So the father should build a relationship. Take her to a dinner. Treat her how her prospective husband should treat her.
So she knows what to expect, what to look for.
Right? So she knows what to expect from a good husband, a good man. And then when you have done that, the father, you will be comfortable enough to let her do her thing.
All right, thank you.
And the fact that the father is insecure, it simply means that he's not trusting her enough to do that. And it actually reflects on him not doing a proper job.
All right. Thank you very much for that contribution.
You're most welcome.
Point
Have
taken.
a good day.
All right. So we got a message here. It says, and I like this message. What is it? Okay, there we go. We have a message here that says, forgive your dad. Being you are his only child and a daughter, he is just overprotective. If you love your man, but don't move, you can love your man, but do not move out. Your dad will get over it. So this one is encouraging the daughter not to move out, just do her thing. The father is just a loving father who's a little overprotective, and that's just what it is. Time will pass, and he will get to it. But I mean, I think too, it might be a situation too where maybe he doesn't know the guy well enough, you know. So again, my advice there would be to invest some time in, you know, in your boyfriend or your future husband, get too close to your father, so he can see the type of person he is. A lot of times, that's what it boils down to. It's not that we don't want to let go; it's who we let go to. Again, we need to understand and know who you are. Real fathers do not want to see their daughters end up in a relationship with that, you know, that's rocky or that will drag them through certain things in life. We want them to go up from where we hand them over, if you just want to call it that. I mean, it sounds a little harsh, but you know, when you say I do, and they ask who give this woman, and we say I give this woman to this man, I want this man to take this woman to the next level. And if I'm unsure of that, if I'm not sure what level that is, or if there's a level at all, you have problems. Right? You're gonna have some problems with me. All right.
And that lady made a very good point.
Right.
The role of a father is to instill in their daughters or
parents in general, both mother and father.
They
yes.
can. It's left to them whether they want to take it or let go of it. and that they should take with them in the future, and in choosing who they want to be with. So if the father did a great job
raising his daughter,
then she would be able to choose a good husband and
not always the case,
what
you know.
to expect from a good husband.
The
Well, there are women. Let me tell you.
Not always the case. Sometimes the fellas, them when they want what they want, they come in all shapes and sizes.
That's true.
Wolf in sheep's clothing, eh?
But there are some women, they like the bad ones. You understand what I mean?
Some of them
Yeah.
like the bad.
They won't fall for the good.
And that's the problem there. This one says, you've been around too long. Should have moved out a long time ago. You're almost 30 and you should have had started a lovely family already.
Right.
So maybe the fact that she's still at home at that age, he's beginning to get more comfortable knowing, thinking that she's not going anywhere. That's my little girl. She's 30 years old. She hasn't ventured out yet. And, you know, at that age, most women are still not at home. Unless, you know... so maybe that's the problem right there. She's stayed in too long.
And that
where daddy's feeling that he's comfortable. He's like, you ain't going nowhere.
There's a difference between love, real love, and being around for a while. Yes.
All right. So we've got a few more comments. The police officer should not be ashamed of what the father said. The father should be ashamed. Right. You know, your father needs to get a life. If you can, call Mr. and put his name on the old people's home. Put him in the old people's. Oh my goodness! At the rate he is going, your biological clock will run out on you, and you will not be able to. You will have no one to blame but yourself for not standing up to him. It also seems like he is a little part. I'm not going to say the word. He has a little part Mako in him and cannot stand the thought of you enjoying some serious... Okay. Oh, boy, goodness. That's the thing about our listeners. They're very real. Our number here is 458-2488 if you want to make a contribution, or via WhatsApp. We can also take WhatsApp calls. 721-3303. You know, I don't... As much as I want to say it's okay that, you know, we're all gonna get to that point where we're gonna let our daughters go, and even when we do that with fear. We do that with our fingers crossed that, you know, I hope this is the one. I hope this is the one for my little girl. And that's how it is. No matter whether she's 25 or 15 or 3, she's still going to be our little girl. Right? So I don't know if I really want to bash the father as per se. He's just being protective.
He's being overprotective.
Your father.
She said husband. She had 3 husbands, potential husbands, and
because of the
father. Yes, and now she has a boyfriend. And I think
your point is
married or something like that.
Your point is.
My point is, she's not you're not letting the girl be who she want to be.
All right, so let me read this one. All right, this one says, "Girl, your father just gave you the best advice. Add a fireman and a popular musician to that." So it goes on to say, however, at some point you will need to stand up to him. When you find the man you really want, in the end, you should show him the man you choose makes you happy.
Right.
Also, that the man you choose needs to show your father he makes you happy and is a good addition to the family. In the end, he will come around and ease up. That, to me, is the best advice I've heard all morning. One of the best. All right. This one says, good morning, ladies, and asylum. It's the other way around. It's asylum and ladies. Man versus woman.
Ladies and asylum.
Ladies and asylum.
Man versus woman. Anyways, let's move on. Good morning, asylum and ladies. One thing for sure, the father loves his daughter, but not the kind of love her spouse can give. So the father should calm down and trust his father's. The daughter should calm down and trust her father's opinion.
Right.
Or the daughter's opinion, sorry.
If the father knew he did a good job in bringing up his daughter, he wouldn't never have a problem with she being with somebody else. At the moment,
we would have a problem with her being with anybody.
No.
Yeah.
He has
would have
to
a
trust
problem.
that he did his best.
You know, yeah, he has to, but you know, there's that part of us that
no if, no buts, or maybe
there's that part of us that just there, stubborn, arrogant, ignorant, and it ain't going nowhere. That part of us that says that you are my little girl, and it is my right to make sure, as long as I have breath in me, to make sure that you are good.
Well, I would live in that.
You see, the
All right.
same way y'all can
So take
send
that.
us to school and try our best, spend all the monies, and expect us to come out with something good. And when we come out with something good, y'all make us go out in the world of work.
Yeah, well,
That's
you know,
the same thing you should be
because
doing now. Allow her, let her be
her own person.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't let her be. He should let her be. I totally agree with that. She's 29. Message here says she wants. She's 29 years old. You want to hold the woman hostage from having a man? Okay, unless he has a. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. All right, I'm not gonna read that. But we have to have a little sympathy in the guy. He's probably lost.
Yes, I understand.
He's scared.
I understand, but
He's
just
afraid that, you know, for many different reasons, that she's gonna leave and go on her own, and things ain't gonna work out, and you know he's gonna be left alone in the house. He's used 29 years old. He's used to having her there.
Well,
it's been 29 years that she's been in that house.
Yes, he will. He
No,
will
I don't think he's
force
forcing. He's forcing her to what?
Yes, because she's already sounding fed up. She's already sounding
I think the
fed up.
frustration she has is because Papa doesn't want to let up. But if in fact that she wanted to move out, she could have done that a long time ago. She didn't.
And the guy she wants to
So she
get
has
married to, the father embarrassed the guy.
Yeah,
in
because
front
we-
of the
I
whole
mean,
family.
That's a part of the what do you
I
call
don't
it?
want to be in your life.
No. Well, see, the thing is, we have to do that. We want to see what you. We want to see what you're made of. It's a test. We want to see how you're going to react to a little bit of, you know, poking.
No, don't poke me and embarrass me. in
Why
front of
not?
everybody.
Why, my daughter that day, not yours, eh?
Asylum.
Uh-huh.
It ever happened to you?
If I have chased guys away from my daughters already, yes.
No. Girls you dated,
Uh-huh.
their fathers chased you.
Yeah, it has.
So that's why you have to.
No, that is nothing. I totally understand what that father was going through. I totally understand what was going through his mind.
And they still have children.
You know, I totally understand when the time came. But
And these
I
girls
mean,
still have children.
we're not gonna give up. This is a never-ending battle. Real fathers don't give up on their children. We fight for them for the rest of our lives. We protect them for the rest of our lives or their lives.
And then if the man really loves the girl, you wouldn't give up, no matter what.
Well, then it's for the gentleman now, the police officer now, to prove to the father that he is the worthy one.
And the same way.
And I think a lot of times, in the old days, when you come talk to my grandfather about my mother, you had to come goody. We have just allowed this thing to get too loose now. So fathers like this one that in question, that wasn't uncommon 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Back in the days, when you come down the road and tell Papa that you're checking his daughter, you better come goody. Make sure your goats them multiplying and your banana plant goody. Make sure you're planting them working. Make sure you're planting them growing. You couldn't just come down with two hands swinging and sack a boy and tucks in your mouth. I commend it. We should have more old school fathers like this. I commend him. That is a typical example of an old school father. And what happened to your grandparents and your mother? They grew up, they got into substantial relationships because not anybody coming around my yard. When the fellas them decide to make that venture, they know that they're coming good. Right or wrong?
Yeah,
I know Charlo laughing. I know Charlo listening right now. Charlo saying, Asylum, I agree with you. The old school fathers, them did not allow anybody to come in there and talk about, oh, I like your daughter. No! I bring her to work with me tomorrow morning in the field, in the garden. Let me see what you got. And if you're worthy, then we can talk. These days, fathers just allowing their daughters 16, 17, 18 years. Daddy, I have a boyfriend. No! I standing up for the old school right now. I go in old school on everybody this morning.
Well, I'm new school, so sorry. I
Good.
know
Well, you and your new school father could deal with your situation.
No.
But I standing up for the real
Hey,
old school.
I
The
never
founders.
see my father not like that. Eh?
The foundation.
My father is like that, but
the
not overprotective.
the foundation of family. The old school foundation, the solid foundation of families who are defending here right now. Fellas, Papa, you're right. Come to think of it. And hats off to all the older fellas, them who listen to us here now, who know what it was like when fellas coming around talking about, oh, I like your daughter. You have to be able to work hard, take care of the family, protect my daughter like a soldier, like I would. Yes. That's why so much marriage is ending in divorce. Today you're married, tomorrow is like, okay, well, let's just divorce her. Back in the days, then things used to happen because when you come around, you invest in good. I kicking it old school this morning. Yeah. About 6 minutes to go. So you see, y'all go quiet now. You see exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I'm letting you express your emotions.
But come to think of it, I mean, when I'm sitting here thinking of it, that's what it was back in the old days.
Yes,
when you see a young lady passing down the road, and it wasn't no. You have to address them properly. You have to go to church. You have to put God in you. And you have to be able to bend your back hard in the hot sun.
21st century is not.
I know times have changed, eh? But we still need to revisit some of those old way of life and give meaning to life again. Because when you take somebody's daughter and say you're gonna bring her down the aisle and get married to her, you know it's not something that you. If a month from now you don't get things your way, you walk away and say, hey, I wasn't up for that, yeah. That wasn't a part of the plan. Damn right it was a part of the plan. Damn right. We're going back old school.
And I agree with you, Asylum.
Yes.
If I understand where the father is coming from, yes. To be real honest, if I was the girl.
You have any idea how much hot sun this man take to raise his child?
If I was the
how much
girl,
times when he had to think about the daughter first before he think about himself. When he wanted a new pair of shoes and the daughter come home with a book list, he had to put that aside.
Right.
How much sacrifices he made? You just coming from out of nowhere, but you want my daughter, boy. Let me get next here.
If I was a girl, there's a type of marriage that it's called elope.
I hope Skelly listened to you. I hope your father listened to you. Run away.
To get married.
This one says he will lose her if he continues like that. And if she moves out, it would be his fault. Yeah. He will have nobody to blame but himself. I agree with all of that. I agree. Listen to me. I'm not arguing about anything here. All I'm simply saying that we need to go back to the drawing boards and really, put some core behind what we call marriage, especially that, because now we're seeing people getting married today, next week they divorce, all of that.
Right.
In the old days, going back to the old days, I know time has changed, but we need to revisit some of these old way of life, because they had substance. Because when you take a man daughter and say you're going to marry to her back in them days, you have to bend your back. Do everything you possibly can to make sure that marriage work, that you raise that child and that family proper.
Right.
All that is probably what going through the man's mind. You know how much times he had to make sacrifices. What?
It's time for her to make her own family.
I get it. Well, that's fine, but make sure that when you come good.
Alright.
When you come, make sure you're ready to take on that responsibility. Don't because you feel you see a nice little a pretty little young lady, she might be well mannered, well brought up, and you feel, yeah boy, that's what I want. But how do you want it? How do you plan to maintain it?
Well,
I know some fellas vex with me, man versus woman too, and some of them glad to hear me talk like that. And some vex because the ones who gonna vex are the ones who just want it easy, whisper in her ears and that's it, eh? And then when things don't work out, or when they don't get things their way, they throw her in the road and send her back to you. Pack your things and I put your things in a garbage bag by the road.
Oh my God.
Send you go meet your father, go and meet your mother and your father. No. When you come good, because when you take, you're taking for life.
Right.
So make sure you can handled right.
Right.
All right. We got a few minutes left. Anything else before we wrap up?
Well, my advice to the father,
Mm-hmm.
at least just try and cope with the fact that she's ready to move on and get somebody else in her life. You should be her keeper, be there for her. Yes, you want to be overprotective to protect her, but the time for that, it's still going to be there. Yes, it will. She said he's afraid of losing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
But
real fathers do that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but you should trust her enough to allow her find someone who has the same qualities as you.
I don't know if the qualities is so much it. You know,
not
he just
really
wants
the
to know that
qualities, but somebody
his
to
daughter will be
protect
taken
her,
care of.
somebody to be there for her, somebody to guide her. Yeah.
All right. My quick take before I leave is that, you know, while I believe that, you know, all fathers or real fathers have that attachment that they don't ever want to lose. Father I think he just wants to make sure that you make the right decision. So when you go out into the world with your husband and you really become somebody. I believe that it is on the husband or the boyfriend's, it's on him to prove to the father that he is the kind of man that can take care of his daughter. Old school. That's how it is. That's what I believe. So, officer, spend some time with Paps. Get to know him. Let him get to know you. And you will see the ball game change. Yeah. It's 12 o'clock. Our time's up. We got to go. Got to say goodbye to the folks on GVD TV.
Goodbye.
Channel 115. Join us. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah, join us on Friday. We'll have another man versus woman for you. Gotta thank man versus woman.
Woman versus
Javid,
man.
thank you very much, my brother. I know you like when I shout you out. And if the young lady is listening, get your boyfriend or your future husband, your fiance, to spend some time with your dad, and you know, get comfortable with him. Let him get comfortable with you, and work together in showing Pops that is the man that is going to take you to that next level. And that's just my way. I'm out. Have yourselves a wonderful one. Thank you very much, ladies.
You're welcome.
And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. We're out of here.